in. Come on. Yes, guys, welcome to It's All Black and White TV. It's the match reaction. And guess what? We've beaten Chelsea by 1-0, and we got the 3 points. And we are now sitting third in the Premier League at the World Cup break. 2 points off Man City, 4 points off the top. But I suspect that'll be 7 points tonight when Arsenal probably will beat Wolves, to be fair. So, guys, if you like what you see, then please hit those like buttons. It really does help push the channel up the search ratings and lets people find my channel a lot more easier as well. And also, if you haven't yet, then please hit the subscribe button. It's free to do so. And also the bell notification. That will notify you when I put a pre-record on or I come on live. And my next aim is to get to 150. Not from. So yeah, please smash those subscribes. Thank you very much indeed. So yeah, guys, 3 points. Oof, what a game. Right, let's delve into a comment. Let's see, we got, yeah. And Ian says, good evening. Good evening to you. Mighty Max says, evening, Tony. What a game and an ending. Classic. Third top. Can't be better. Absolutely not, mate. No, it's fantastic, isn't it? Absolutely great. We've got Pablo on. Welcome, Pablo. I hope you're well, mate. Evening, Tony. Come on, how are you there, lads? Don't think people are laughing now when I said we would be in the mix of the Premier League. No, I don't think people are. And do you know what? It's just great to see where we are, isn't it? Absolutely brilliant. When you think from like last year to where we are now, it's madness, isn't it? You know, progress is what it's called. Progress. Ian, any word from John? Yes, I did. I heard from John. He sent me a message. I have sent him the link. So, the link's in the chat if he wants to come on as well. He's more than welcome to. If he can get a reception, of course. But yeah, I mean, yeah, John's over the moon with that, and yeah. So, guys, I mean, you know, where do we start with this game? Right. Well, I'll tell you exactly where we're going to start with this game. Because what we'll start with is I'll put up the team sheet. So this was the team against Chelsea. The changes made from last week was Joe Linton come back into the squad after his suspension, and Chris Wood took the place of Callum Wilson, who was still feeling the ill effects of that cold that he had. So in effect, looked at that team, pretty good team, pretty good lineup. Yeah, I mean, absolutely, you know. We just thought, yeah, okay, with the exception that Wilson's out and Wood's in, still it's a strong enough team to go out there and win that game. And, you know, but where shall I start on this game? I mean, it's one of them. I mean, it was a bit of we took the game to Chelsea in that first half, definitely. I mean, you know, they didn't really create a lot. I mean, the only chance they had was that one for Brozier, which basically just rolled into Pope's hands, didn't it? Because it wasn't even a shot, or you know, I don't know what it was, but yeah, that's the team lineup. And I'll just go to a comment. Yeah, he says I was worried about Wood, but he did really well. Yeah, he did. He done what he had to do, Chris Wood, and yeah, thankfully he was on the ball. And but yeah, I mean, what a game. Yeah, so the first half, there was some scrappy moments in that first half, but other than that, you know, we coped reasonably well against the Chelsea side, which I'll actually put on the screen as well. That was the Chelsea team, by the way. And I mean, we looked at that team, and I looked at that team, and I thought, oh, nothing in that team frightens you. And I mean, the young kid that had it left back, he didn't do too bad for them all. I mean, he's only a youngster, so, you know, he's got time to grow, I suppose. But other than that, I thought Gallagher didn't look great. He had that shot, I know that. But other than that, I don't think he looks great. I don't think Mount looks anything special. So how these guys have walked into Southgate's squad is just head scratching. But anyway, so that was the Chelsea lineup as well. And but yeah, what a fantastic game. I mean, it was enthralling, wasn't it? I mean, the first half, I mean, we had chances in that first half. But what I could see in that first half was There was a couple of passes from Bruno which were a little bit too heavy. They weren't quite that weighted pass that he normally can do. So they were a little bit heavy. And I just thought, in general, in the first half, that our fluency and passing game wasn't quite on par as it normally has been. So I was sort of thinking, right, okay, well, Eddie, get them in at half time because it was 0-0 at half time. Eddie will get them in, get them sorted out, get them back out in that pitch in the second half and get firing. And I saw them bring Pulisic on, and I thought, okay, that's an attacking move because they've not offered nothing, Chelsea. I mean, didn't offer a thing, did they really, in that first half? And then second half came, and again, Chelsea had a little bit of a go, but we got soon on it, and we had chances, and then all of a sudden, ball goes on Almiron, who then goes across the box, and as he's going across the edge of the box, it rolls towards Willock, and what a clever finish and great finish from Joe Willock on 67 minutes. I mean, absolutely fantastic finish. Didn't hammer it or nothing. He just placed it beautifully past Mendy, who I thought was a bit dodgy. I mean, he doesn't like back passes, Mendy, does he? And overall, I thought, yeah, great. We're 1-0 up now. And then obviously Graham Potter decides, I'm going to try and bring some big guns on you and see if we can try and get something out of this game. So on comes Cucurella. He brings Havertz on as well. And I mean, I can't stand Kai Havertz one bit. This guy really, really irritates me. And, it goes back to last season when he cheated and he got away with that elbow on Burn. Because had he been sent off, they would never have won that game at Stamford Bridge. So he was on. And he was mourning as usual. So was Jorginho mourning as well, just constantly throughout that second half. And then because Cher was down on the floor, but Pope gets a booking for supposedly dissent. And I'm like, dissent? What's he done? All he said to the referee is Cher's got an injury or something and he wants him looked at. And then the thing where they got that free kick where Burn went in on Havertz. I mean, Burn didn't even know he was there. I think it was just an accidental collision, if I'm honest. And Chelsea reacted to that. But when that final whistle go, I was so pleased because after that 7 minutes, I'm still trying to scratch my head where that 7 minutes actually came from because it was absolutely ridiculous. I don't know where they got 7 minutes from. I mean, it was stupidity that. And I just thought, this going to be our day? Because, normally when there's 7 minutes, you're normally thinking, they're playing. Is this going to be playing Potter time now? Is it? We had Tuchel time, now we've got Potter time. But that didn't happen. And, but one thing I do want to say is, and I share this with the Arsenal fans who have actually said to me as well in the past, that this guy was terrible when they played Southampton as well. His decisions were absolutely ridiculous. This guy, Robert Jones, what an awful game this referee had. He was absolutely poor. He needs to be stepping down from the Premier League. I'm sorry, he is not a Premier League referee. How on earth is he refereeing in this league? I mean, his decisions were a bit dodgy. I mean, he was giving Chelsea some free kicks, which were in free kicks. And, I just don't get this guy. I really don't. And I thought he was very, very poor throughout. And after the game ended, I thought the Chelsea team were an absolute disgrace to the Premier League. And I hope the Premier League clamped down on Chelsea because they need it. I mean, Kai Havertz starting fights at the end of the game, I think with Cher, I think it was. And then all the other players started joining the Chelsea players. And then obviously when they did go off from Sky, because there's another game coming on, so we didn't see any interviews with Eddie Howe or and when the and it's just absolutely ridiculous, this guy. And then he had his book open, so who else he booked, I'm not too sure at the moment, but I'm going to have a look. But yeah, I mean, this guy had a stinker today, and I'm sorry, I hope to never see him referee again, a game for us, because he was absolutely woeful. He needs to stint in the Championship, this guy, because he's not a Premier League referee in my eyes. Get your thoughts in the comments on what you thought of the referee. So I thought he was absolutely dreadful today. He got a lot of decisions wrong in my eyes. Okay, the penalty incident in that first half, you could say it's not a penalty because he's got his hand on the ground and the ball rebounds off his arm. Technically, in the law, that is not a penalty. So, but yeah, I mean, but you know what? We don't care how we win games. To me, this is a shithousery win because not only is it a shithousery win, but we've won 1-0 against another one of the big six. And we are chipping away now at this big six. We've drew with City, drew with Man United. You know, we've got Arsenal to play yet. We've beat Spurs. We've beat Chelsea. We lost to Liverpool, unfortunately, through a referee who made some stupid decisions that night and played extra time. But the top six, the big six as they think they are now, don't like this now because we've now joined the party and we've invaded their space. And we're going to continue to invade their space. Because I've always said this juggernaut will start off slow, but when it picks up pace, my God, we're going to ram through that big six and they not know what's going to hit them. And now they can see we're a serious player at the top of the table now, and we are a serious contender in the top half of that table. So, yeah. So I'll just go through some comments before I get some guys in from the green room. Mighty Mag says Wood needs replacing, really need Isaac back. Yeah, well, we've got the World Cup break now, Mighty Mag. So I think he'll come back now. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. He'll be back after the World Cup, that's for sure. So we've got no worries about that. And he also said it before, Potter won't last the season and top for us is a must. Yeah, I mean, we're playing well. We're in the break. We're third top. Absolutely brilliant. And yeah, let's see where we are come April. I'm just going to keep saying where we are in April because I'm trying not to get carried away. I don't want to get carried away because it's nice to live in hope where we are at the moment, but there might be a run where we go on a run of a few games where we don't win and suddenly we're caught up by other teams. So let's just be a bit cautious, but enjoy where we are at the minute. It's great being third top in the Premier League. And then we go again after the World Cup. Pablo says, felt they played very dirty today and Havertz is a joke. Disgusting behaviour from him. Yeah, I can't stand the guy. The guy's a joke, Kai Havertz. I mean, he just moans and he starts fights for no reason. And I just thought he was a bad loser. And I can't stand the bloke. So I'm glad he didn't get a goal against us today. Alan says, great result. Chelsea are bad losers. Yeah, they are, Alan. Absolutely. Totally agree with you, mate. They are. They really are bad losers. They proved that today. Absolutely shocking behaviour. And I hope the Premier League do come down hard on them because somebody needs to. And Graham Potter looked a broken man at the end and I was absolutely laughing the way I saw his face. But yeah. Mighty Max says also, I saw the Saudi sponsors on the boards before kickoff. Sure, they are going to be big sponsors next season. Also, Wales and Forest got any sponsors on their shirt? Yeah, it was on during the game as well. Saudi Airways was on during the game. So I don't know if they're shirt sponsors or I don't know if they're going to be the stadium sponsors. But I'm sure the club's going to announce this. I mean, why put it on the boards but they haven't made announcements, so maybe that may come on Monday. They might have just wanted to get this game out of the way. And then on Monday, do a press release about the sponsorship. So we wait and see with that. And on the Forest one, the reason I've heard is why Forest haven't got a shirt sponsor as such is because their owner, because they're in the Premier League, he got rid of Box 2 they had last season because he wanted too much money and they couldn't afford that. I think he wants about 12 million a season for a shirt sponsor, and people are saying, well, we're not sponsoring you for that much. You've just come into the Premier League. So I think that's the reason why they ain't got a shirt sponsor or a sleeve sponsor in that matter either. So, yeah. The Cells even got booked and he never come on. Yeah, well, because he impeded Cucurella, didn't he, from taking that throw-in. So technically it's a yellow card, isn't it? Even if he's not on the pitch, it's still a yellow card. And obviously Eddie Howe got told by the fourth official to get off the pitch because he kept encroaching the pitch out of his area. But I think Eddie Howe was just trying to get the players G'd up to say, look, come on, let's just see this over the line and get this win. Pablo says the ref was abysmal. Yes, he was. Robert Jones is a crap ref, I'm sorry. And he needs to be replaced. Pablo says Chelsea won't get punished starting fights. Ref throws random yellows at us, but what about Harrods starting fights at the end and generally look like they were trying to injure people? Ref ignores all Chelsea. Yes, they do. I totally agree with you. Yeah, I totally agree. And I think it's absolutely disgusting with what they've done. I've got Ashton. He says, Nottingham doing the same with players, buy too many, think they're ready for the top Prem spot already, trying to run before they can even grow. Yeah, I think their owner's just trying to play FIFA football, but he forgets it's real football as not computerized. Ashton Lingard's a great example. Yeah, absolutely. And Sefton's in the house. Hello, Sefton. In bed with all the lights out. Brilliant result and keep up the great work, Tony. How are you, the lads? Yeah, absolutely, Sefton. Totally agree, mate. Get well soon. Sefton's not been very well. So everybody give Sefton their best wishes because he's not very well at the moment. I don't know if he's got the cold or flu or whatever. But right, let's get some guests in. So here's the main one. Hello, Sam. You all right, mate?
Yes and no. I still feel like fucking shit, but after that win,
Yeah.
Oh.
And I've got Rolly. Hi, Rolly. How are you? All right?
I'm buzzing still, buzzing.
And we've got Gordon as well. Hello, Gordon. How are you?
Oh, buzzing, mate. Really buzzing.
Buzzing.
Right.
Yeah.
This is absolutely proud of the team, proud of the club so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Mighty Mag says, get well soon, Sefton. Ashton says, bet all the Chelsea fans will be talking rubbish now.
Exactly.
Us now. Can't accept defeat, even though they cause most trouble. They will get focused on us with us.
I was thinking you
Mag says, even guests.
Yeah. And I was watching there. He was causing the fights on the pitch.
Yeah, he was. Right, Sam. I'm going to come to you first. What a game. Get in. We've won again. A shithousery win. I'm sorry, but that's what it is. It's a shithousery win.
Yeah.
It's against another one of the big six. So the only big six we've lost off is Liverpool. We haven't played Arsenal yet, but we've beat Spurs. We've beat Chelsea. We've drew with City. It's just, it's just brilliant, isn't it, to what we're doing. And we're drew with Man United. So where we're going is absolutely brilliant. We're third top now. And I just love wins like this. I'd rather have a win like this against the big six, and then that just shows them up completely. And nothing better than a shithousery and this guy on screen with his little glass there. And I'm going to do the same. Thank you, Chelsea. Right, Sam, take it away, mate.
I think I think today is a bit of calm off what happened down there last season where we got blatantly did over, and I think it's a nice dish served cold, isn't it? I thought we deserved the win. I thought, yeah, there wasn't much quality in the first half, but it's what we did off the ball, which was good, which was pressing them into making mistakes, losing the ball. Yeah, we didn't create much, but you could just see it would come the way we were playing in the first 20, 25 minutes of the second half. We couldn't get out there with half. We had the pin in, and you just knew once you get that one chance, and Willock scored that goal as if he scored goals for fun. I mean, it's only his second goal of the season. But again, good finish. And I was a bit worried at Eddie leaving it a bit late to make the subs because they started to come into it after I made the changes. But I don't think if they had equalised, they would have deserved it. I felt that, it was more desperation from them as opposed to anything else. And I think better team on the day won. I know, like I said, there wasn't much sort of much, where we were having shot after shot after shot and things like that. But it was just, like I said, what we were doing off the ball. And I think, obviously, something's not right at Chelsea. Like, I don't care. That Potter's been there a few weeks now, but something doesn't seem right there. Like, I mean, that team was very weak. That I said here before, that team he fielded there was very weak, and I was surprised. Like I was surprised Aubameyang wasn't starting. Gabon on at the World Cup, were they?
No, they're not. No.
So I don't know why he
Aubameyang's
wasn't
finished.
starting them. I mean, I don't know why as well. Some reason why he didn't even have Sterling on the bench, which I thought was a strange one as well.
Sterling, they said Sterling as well. They said Sterling as well. They said Sterling was ill.
Yeah,
he's not well.
On the bench.
He's not well, fair enough. I was surprised by that Chelsea team completely. I just thought it was a team that he didn't have any intent of beating with. I thought it was a case of let's go up there, get a draw, go home. Not like let's go up there and give Newcastle a game, because I think teams are shit scared to do because they'll get beat. But we're third in the league now, going into the Christmas time, and the last time we were third in the league, we ended up finishing fourth that season. So at this stage of the season, so yeah, slowly the dots are starting to align. But again, I'm not going to be the doom monger or the doom merchant, but as we've said before, there's still 22 games to play when we come back, or is it 23? One of the two. So again, you've got to have balance with it and say, listen, we've done really well to get 30 points from 15 games, but then we've got to try and do another 15 games of that after 20 games of that after the World Cup.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, but I mean, 15 games, 8 wins, 6 draws, and 1 defeat, 29 scored and 11 against, plus 18 difference. I mean, we're scoring. Only Man City have scored more goals. Well, only we've scored the least in the top 4. But Man City have scored 40. I mean, but they've got a machine in front of goal called Haaland, haven't they? But it's just. But it doesn't matter if you win 1-0 or you win 3-0. At the end of the day, it's 3 points. And I mean, if you remember the Arsenal, the Invincibles that they were at the time, they used to get labelled boring Arsenal, but they used to win 1-0 and nick the game. And it worked for them because they won the league winning that way. So, I know they were the most boring team to watch, but it doesn't matter because we're getting 3 points every game. And
that's it. All that matters is the start of full time, which is 3 points. It doesn't matter how well you play or anything like that. It's what you do at full time. Simple as that. I thought some of the players, maybe Bruno didn't have his best game, but you know what? If you can win games like that and come away saying players need to, if we didn't play great, then it's a good problem to have, because, like I say, when you play great and you win, it's even better. So,
yeah.
But like that, I said to myself the day was a case of get 3 points today. I don't care how, because going into that international, Man City losing, I know Spurs shithouse to win, but they were all but losing for a while. So like with Man City losing, we're 2 points off them now. I know they've got a game in hand, but again, they'll still look over thinking, we lose that game in hand, I mean, you don't know, things can happen, So
their players could come back from the World Cup, Sam, and be cold and not be on it, and then lose a couple of games, Man City, and
that's it. You could have a De Bruyne injury at the World Cup. You could have Haaland get injured, like in pre-training or whatever. You don't know. I know they've got money like us that can just go and replace them, though. But I think the January we're obviously going to be signing players as well. So again, like I said today, we got 3 points. That was the main thing. We could just, we're going to enjoy it now. Enjoy it and drink it all in, because it's just going to get better.
And what did you think of this guy's performance today, Sam? I'm going to put him on screen now. There you go. Take it away. The referee, Robert
The whole lot of them may as well have had fucking Chelsea tops on. I mean, 7 minutes at the end of the game. Where did that come from?
That reminded me
I don't
of
know where he got
Liverpool.
that from. Haven't got a clue where he got that from.
And then in the stoppage time, Chelsea were wasting the time. I thought they need to score goals and they're wasting their own time.
absolutely. Poor wasn't he today, the referee?
He was.
But, you know,
The whole lot of them was shite, and what happened at the end of the game just proved that he didn't have a fucking clue because he couldn't do anything. It's ridiculous.
yeah,
He did. He was looking for some player in the book, but he couldn't find him.
Yeah. And
well,
you know the
thankfully
way
this guy
Chelsea
came
are
up
going,
with us.
you wouldn't be surprised if Potter did get sacked at Christmas or New Year, the way they're going, because I don't know where they're going to stop the rot from. The World Cup's coming, a massive good time for them, like.
Oh God, yeah, they're 8th place now in the Premier League. I mean, Rolly, what was your thoughts on today's game?
I thought the first sort of 75 minutes, I thought we were awesome. Chelsea came back into it a bit in the last sort of 15 minutes. But like anybody else in this league, they can't handle our high press. We rattled them. I mean, all that bloody stuff at the end was because they don't like losing. They're bad losers, but they're going to have to get used to it when they play us because they're going to be losing a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And who stood out for you today?
I thought Botman was good. Bruno was Bruno. I thought Longstaff had a good game. I thought he got lots of tackles, just breaking up the play. And it was just a superb goal by Willock. I mean, I was confident going into the game until I heard Wilson wasn't starting. So I dialed back my expectations from 4-0 and thought we'd do it by 2. But I mean, we were the better team. We deserved all 3 points. And there's nothing that they or the ref could do about it because we were better than them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I said 2-0 today, so I mean, I wasn't far off, but and I mean, I'm going to ask you the same question. Obviously, that I've just asked Sam, guy on your screen. Give me your views on him today.
It wasn't good. He lost control of the game, especially at the end. Didn't have a clue. I mean, for the stoppage time at the end of the second half, if he'd said 3 or 4 minutes, yeah, that was understandable to put a couple of people down and some substitutions. But where he got the 7 minutes from, no idea.
No idea.
He had loads of. I mean, he's just awful. But as I say, we're at the stage now in our evolution where it doesn't matter how bad the ref is, we can overcome it. I thought defensively we're superb. That's the high press that kills everybody. They can't cope with it. They make mistakes. I must admit, at the end when Mendy came up from the corner and broke away and he got to Wilson, I thought he might try and chip him again, like he did at Spurs. I think that this break has come at the right time because we did start to look about a bit jaded in the last 20 minutes. You can see that some of them have played a lot of football, getting a bit leggy. Botman and Shah suffering, but there's a couple of things that is quite interesting. Is that we haven't lost when Botman's played.
No, that's the thing, we haven't, and it's just brilliant, isn't it? Pablo says only 2 likes. Come on, everyone, smash the like button for War Tony. Thank you very much, Pablo. Yeah, anybody there, please smash those likes. It really does help the channel grow, and very much appreciated. And hit that subscribe button as well, please. Help the channel grow. Ashton says, stupid yellow for Pope. He was just trying to say Shaw's hurt. Yeah, exactly. And I don't know why he was given the yellow for dissent. It was absolutely ridiculous. But then again, you know, this is the way the referees are with us. Ashton says we should have beat Liverpool, but we all know how daft that ref was. Absolutely. And he says, but we still played better overall. Yeah, we did. He goes on to say, Willock thought he was at Arsenal. Remember his rivals, Chelsea? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. And he says, I think it's more to do with the new Chelsea owner probably there to make money, not to win. Chelsea fans in for a shock. Yeah, absolutely. I think so as well. Alan says that ref today is a Liverpool fan and he's a close friend to Klopp. Well, that wouldn't surprise me, would it? Mighty Max says, was Botman's injury nothing to worry about, or just to protect him, bring them off? I think he's got a slight niggle, but he hasn't made the World Cup squad for Holland. So that's good news, because in a way, that means he can stay back for training with Eddie Howe and get fit for the season to restart back in December. Ashton says, makes me laugh the other day, Twitter pic of Eddie and Miggy with their awards, and some Chelsea fan was talking rubbish saying they are coming to beat up to take their spot back. Well, that's funny because, and do you know what's happened as well? Not only have we won, but Eddie Howe's broke the curse, because normally when you get manager of the month, the next game you play, you normally lose it. So we haven't lost it. So Eddie's broke the curse now. Or is that just because Eddie Howe's such a bloody good manager? That's why. And Pablo says, Howe has learned his shithousery skills from the best in the form of Simeone. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Simeone's very good at shithousery results, isn't he? Ashton says, Tottenham played, probably thought they had their spot back, but they were just keeping it warm for us. Ashton says, 7 minutes and still added nearly 2 minutes extra. Yeah, he did. He kept playing, didn't he, the referee? I think he was waiting for Chelsea to score. LA Coffee, woo, 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 we won. Oh my God, cartwheel time. Yeah, absolutely. Get cartwheeling. And he says the refs were horrible. They got the offside call wrong in the first half. Yeah, Trippier was well onside, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I was at Almiron, I think. But, it was Trippier, but he was definitely onside. I think Shalabar was playing him on. Havertz should get a red card for starting fights at the end. Yeah, too right, he should. Hopefully he'll get a ban.
He was just belling him. He was absolutely belling Havertz.
Dan Burn got Havertz back. He remembered. Yeah, exactly. Havertz should have seen red last season for that elbow on Dan Burn. And Ashton says that ref needs someone to flush his head in the toilet after that game. Yes, he does. LA Coffee says Chris Wood isn't fast enough to play the high press football. He's not, no, but he did. He did put the pressure on the goalkeeper when the ball went back to him. And he says, no surprise. Ashton says, no surprise. The ref's Klopp's mate gave Chelsea Kloppage time, but it didn't work. No, absolutely not. We stood firm. Gordon, what did you think of the game today then?
Yeah, like I say, the first half was all right, but the second half was better. And bossed the whole game. And like I say, the referee was an absolute arsehole. And that's 7 minutes. I watched the game. I was thinking, where's he getting these 7 minutes from? I was shouting at the TV, blow the whistle, you clown.
Yeah, I mean, when that board went up in 7 minutes, I thought, hang on, where's that come from?
Exactly.
I was trying to look through it, thinking, hang on, how many injuries has there been in the second half? How long they've been down for? How long has the subs taken? And I thought I couldn't even work out 7 minutes myself. So if I can't work out 7 minutes, I don't know how he's worked it out on the pitch when he's trying to watch a game as well. So I don't know. I know they have a spare watch.
The thing about the 7 minute stoppage time, when they put the 7 minutes up, I wasn't worried.
No.
Not all back four.
Yeah. I mean, Pope only had one save to make, and he made it quite comfortably.
So we back five with Pope.
Yeah. But, I was never worried that we couldn't hold them out. I would have liked it. I mean, I've said before, with this defence, when we go 2-0 up, it's game over because they ain't scoring two against us. I'm not even. I mean, when we played City, and we got 2 goals up. That was early in the season before we got the confidence we have now. And I think if we go 2-0 up against City, we're not losing the game.
No.
And I saw watched a lot of City today, and they were shocking by their standards. I didn't see the end of the second half, but they're just passing the ball about and not really getting anywhere. Like Foden's goal was good.
Oh, I was wondering have a half volley.
But I looked at them for. I'm not particularly worried about playing them. We've got the Arsenal game on behind, and it's the same with them. It's 0-0, so hopefully it will stay that way, or Wolves will fluke a win, and we made up ground on them. They'll put us 5 points behind them if they don't win.
You see, this Newcastle team, this Newcastle team is ruthless.
Yeah,
it is absolutely. And I mean, Ashington just said there we should put complaint about that ref. Need to get his job taken off him. He's corrupt. Yes, I saw this earlier as well. I like coffee. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. This has made my day. This made me laugh. Warby threw his shirt to a fan in the crowd, and the fan threw his shirt back at him.
Oh no, I was on Sky Sports News. It showed it. He went to the crowd, and there's a shirt, and the fan went, "Have it back."
What do you think of that, Sam? Warby throwing his shirt to the crowd and threw it back at him.
To be fair, I wouldn't want his shirt either, if I'm being honest, you know. But I just find it hilarious what's going on there, because everyone was like, "Oh, Lampard's this good manager, this good that is." He's shite. He really is a shit manager. And it's gonna be so hilarious if they go down. I think there's them, and the shite. I think it's fucking fantastic.
They're only a point outside the relegation zone, aren't they? So because Forest are there now, aren't they? So
it's a good win for Forest.
Ashington says the real question is, will the referee get his cheating bonus today as Chelsea lost? And then he goes to say, we know one thing, Klopp won't be getting that ref at it. You won't be getting that ref a pain tonight, will he? No, probably not. No. But yeah, and then Foxy's in the house. Hey, Foxy. Huge performance all round from us today, not even using ESM. The World Cup break will have ESM 100% and New Year's. Isak back as well. Gutted Spurs one. Foxy. Gutted about Spurs winning. I thought they would have. To be fair, I thought Leeds might have held on against them, but obviously couldn't. And Bentancur scored twice in 2 minutes to seal that game for Spurs. But but you know what? Still, at the end of the day, Foxy was sitting third.
Exactly.
Well, we're 9 points ahead of Chelsea. Chelsea's in 8th place now, so they're going down over, and they're on a horrible run at the moment. And I think the World Cup breaks just hit them at the right time to maybe recharge their batteries. But for us, I think the World Cup breaks come probably at the wrong time. But there again,
I don't know.
Maybe it's come at the right time so we can get these players rested and re-energized. Because I know House says he's going to give the players a couple of weeks off
good.
to have some rest and downtime so they can go and have family time or whatever, and then come back for the mini pre-season and get sorted out. So it may have come at a good time for us, and then as long as we're back on it from the next game, which will be Bournemouth in the Carabao Cup, let's see where we go. Sefton says, brilliant show, signing off. I need sleep again. Well, that's giving me that horrible medicine. Talk soon when I'm up and run. How are the lads? Get well soon, Sefton, mate. Get well soon. And,
get well, Sefton.
Yeah. And people in the chat have been saying get well soon as well, mate. So, get yourself to bed and have a good night's skip, mate. And hope you feel better soon.
I think
Mikey Max says, next 2 Premier League games, Leicester away, Leeds home, 6 points, then move for Madison. Yeah, can't argue with that. I mean, we've got to go to Leicester and beat them. We've got to beat Leicester because, we've had some terrible results down there. So let's go down there. Let's go win at Leicester. Let's smash Leeds at home. And then, let's go to January and see where we are in January. But if we're in that top 4, we'll be able to bring in great caliber players because they'll be looking at our team thinking, wow, I want to be a part of this. And which player wouldn't want to be part of it?
Exactly. Especially
he's doing something special.
I think one of the good things about the World Cup break is we've only got 5 players going. So once they've had their time off, Eddie's going to be working with most of the squad. They're saying that Isak his thigh trouble is healed. So it's just about getting him fit. What else was it? Obviously, Maxi just needs more time. It's like getting a pre-season. But it's good. There's good news about Isak because
I'm looking forward to seeing Isaac properly.
Yeah.
I know he will score goals before the end of the season.
He could be the difference in helping us in that top four as well, Isak. So,
Mhm.
you know, he'll be like a new signing when he comes back.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry.
I like coffee says to Ashton, probably because Paulie paid for the paints. Ashton says Liverpool winning is also a shame. Yeah, absolutely.
We're playing Southampton, so at home, so you can't expect Southampton to do anything at Anfield.
Why not? The new manager bounce, he could have done it.
But
Ashton says Chelsea fans will be delirious, not used to being in that low in the Premier League. Yeah, absolutely.
How many points are there with now? Chelsea, Tony?
Who, Chelsea?
Yeah, how many points are we there now?
9.3 wins. Such run usually sees managers at Chelsea get sacked, says I like coffee. Yeah, absolutely. And he says, what a save by Pope. Yeah, great save. I mean, the commentator was annoying me because he kept saying, oh, well, Pope was positioned well and he got near, you know, he didn't have to do too much saving. And I thought, oh, come on, give him credit for God's sake. I thought Gallagher, I'm not being funny, Gallagher and Mount, that England team, they're rubbish players. Why are they even in there? They're not that good. I'm sorry, they are not that good. And all Conor Gallagher done was kept moaning.
yes.
Can't wait for January, says Alan. So, lads, who would you like in at Newcastle?
Wow. I want that DRB man.
So I'll take this around the table as well. Personally, I would say Maddison and Diaby, but also if we put the right bid in, and I'm saying this is going to be a double bid. So if we put the double bid in, why not go and give Leicester a double bid and say we'll take Tielemans and Maddison off here in January, because Tielemans only got 6 months on his deal. Give them an offer they can't refuse, because if they refuse it, then they're going to cut their nose off to spite their face. So basically, get Tielemans and Maddison, get Diaby. That'd be a cracking window.
Oh,
now, I saw a rumour the other day that we're looking to buy in that PIF are wanting to put an offer of £88 million in January for Victor Osimhen from Napoli. Now, if we got him, that would be one hell of a signing. But I'm just putting that down as to media crap, paper talk. So until we see something more concrete, I'm not even reporting on that. But in terms of reality, I would be happy with Maddison and Diaby. And if we could stretch and get Tielemans in, that would be a fantastic window. What about you, Sam?
Yeah, I agree. I think we're the same players that will improve us massively. You know, you've got two players who are proven at the Premier League, two players who, well, obviously one out of Leicester by the sounds of it. Obviously, if Marston did want to come in the summer, then that was, disappointing that, he couldn't come. But now we're third in the league, we'll probably be third when the January window opens there. I think Leicester, their hands are tied now because they need money, and especially with Tielemans as well being the last sort of 6 months of his contract, they'll take anything for him. And I think Diaby as well, he's another player that obviously I think would be a cracking winger. The fact that Almiron's in form as well would suggest that would have competition for that area. It would just be a walk in the park for one in, one out. So yeah. Yeah, the three players.
I mean, on the right wing as well. I mean, if you've got Diaby in, that keeps Almiron on his toes as well, because Almiron will think, oh, hang on, if I just drop my pace, he's going to take my place. So I need to keep playing well, and that's that's why you have healthy competition, keep players on their toes.
Yeah, that's what you need. All good sports have competition, don't they? So that's the important thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And Rolly, who would you prefer? Who would you like in January?
Again, I'm with you, Maddison and Diaby. But one of the good things about Diaby is he didn't make the French squad, so he can't impress at the World Cup and put his price up.
Yeah, well, depends if he plays for. He might only be a sub, mightn't he? Because
he's not in the squad.
Who?
He didn't make the squad.
Who didn't?
Diaby.
Oh, Diaby didn't make the squad. I thought you meant Madison. Sorry, I was
No,
going to say.
no. Diaby.
Sorry, Diaby. Yeah, sorry, yeah.
That's good. Was it Mudryk at Shakhtar Donetsk?
Yeah.
Looks good.
That's what I was thinking there as well, Mudryk.
Yeah, but all the paper talk is saying that he's looking at Arsenal, but you never know until until Yasser starts opening the checkbook. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he might move the furniture in his office and find another 100 million. So I'll give it to Eddie to spend.
Yeah, absolutely. And Gordon, who would you like in January?
Yeah, like Madison, Murdoch, if it's possible, and Diaby, if it's possible, them three, and Tielemans.
Yeah, that would be a nice window, wouldn't it? Yeah. So
If we get three or four players in January, that'll be a good window.
yeah, absolutely. And then Mikey Mark's got a bit of a controversial question here, and I'll go around the table and ask again. He says, do you think the club would sell ESM if an offer came in? If an offer came in January, they wouldn't sell him because you'd need him to stay there. Because if you want to finish in that top 4 or top 7 of the Premier League, then you'll need players like Alan St-Maximin to come off the bench, and so because he can be a game changer and on his days unplayable. So I would say no to that. Sam, what's your thoughts on that one? Do you think the club would sell if an offer come in?
Not in January. I think if he was to go, it would be in the summer, and where you can get a like for like in or an upgrade in for that area. I think there will be, people will be interested in him. I mean, I think there's probably been interested in him before, so there will always be interested in him. But again, it's, I think the fact that we don't have to sell is another thing as well. So, if anything, I think the club will get a players in before selling them. So, I think the fact is we would need a replacement signed before we even thought about a bid from anybody is the thing. So, at the minute, no.
Yeah. Rory, same question for you.
I don't think they'll sell him because we need to keep. We don't need to sell quality players because we need to increase the quality of the bench because we saw what the team put out against Palace wasn't good enough. We need to improve the quality of the squad. So why let ASM go when you need someone to push him to get better and have that depth on the bench? I mean, because we have a couple of people that come on that can make a difference. But ASM's being one. But if you look at Man City, they've got basically two first teams. They can chop and change, and they can keep everyone happy with the European games. Now that we're in a position where we're challenging for Europe and possibly the Champions League, people are more likely to come and fight for a place rather than go because they've got European football and they've got the chance of playing European football. We're in a situation when the way we play, no one is guaranteed a starting place. I mean, the case in point is Matt Target. Did nothing wrong, got ill, and he can't get back into the team. And that's what we want to be like. The people, if you don't want to be injured, you don't want to have an off day because you know that if you go out the team, you won't get another look in.
Yeah, absolutely. And same question, Gordon, for you. Would you sell? Yes. Would the club sell him if an offer come in January?
No, of course Eddie Howe, of course Eddie Howe sell him because Eddie Howe can get the best out of Maxi.
Yeah, absolutely.
And on his day, he could beat any defender in the league.
And he proved that against Man City, where he had that game. Every way Kyle Walker turned when Maxi was running at him was the wrong way. He just turned him inside out. He's superb.
He's a game changer when he comes on.
Yeah,
he is. On his day, he's unplayable. Is Alan St-Maximin? I mean,
so I wouldn't sell him.
So I'm going to bring up now on the screen is because I think Every fan wants to see this. Every fan just wants to take this in now, and it's the and it's been so. There we go. Here is the Premier League table. So there we are, sitting third. That looks lovely just before the World Cup break. And you look at Man City, you think, a couple of them games, if we hadn't drawn, if we'd beat Palace and beat Bournemouth, we would actually be sitting second top, 1 point behind Arsenal. I mean, that's, that's how far we've came. And, in 12 months of Eddie Howe, it's like tomorrow when his first game at Newcastle was against Brentford. And I was at that game. That was when he was ill with COVID. So Jason Tyndall had to take over that game.
And that's a good assistant.
But that makes excellent reading when you see that table. I mean, Sam, how does that table look to you?
Yeah, I mean, if you look over, it's the gap between 5th and 6th. We've got 7 points on Man United, 8 points on Liverpool. That's the big thing. They have to win their games to catch us up.
Not just that, we've got a far better goal difference as well.
Yeah.
So essentially, United essentially have to make up 8 points because our goal difference is so much better than theirs. We can add that ring.
And remember, Man U's got to go to Fulham tomorrow, so that ain't going to be an easy game for Man United. So it could be cut further adrift from us. It could be 7 point gap from Man United if they lose tomorrow.
And then, I mean, the goal difference at the moment, we've got 19 goals on them. If they lose, that just goes up.
Yeah.
And we've got 7 goals on Liverpool as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, say it's like an extra point.
Look at Chelsea's goal difference, 0. And so what's your thoughts on that table looking at that now, Rolly?
Well, it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It is, I mean, they far exceeded my expectations for the season. It is the sort of thing that if it ends up that we don't end up in the Champions League places, I think it's still being a cracking season. And it's the progress that we've made is the thing. Because this time last season we had our first win. Now we've got 8? I mean, 30 points already.
I know. If you want to, you can always say it the same way. It's like we're 10 points from safety.
Somehow I don't.
And that's what a lot of teams go on. A lot of teams will say once they hit 40 points, that's safe, and then they'll just boom. I
don't think we're going to have to worry about safety this year.
No,
because I think within the next 3 games we'll probably have. Next 4 games we'll probably have the 10 points.
Yeah, exactly. We don't have to worry about relegation or anyway.
I'm just excited to get for when we have Isaac and Maxi back.
And Gordon, what's your thoughts on that table as you see it?
I'm still pitching myself now, looking at it to say.
It's just brilliant to see, isn't it? I mean, it's it's just absolutely fantastic, and
30 points. 30 points. I'm gonna have a good Christmas anyway.
Yeah, I did a show on Tuesday, celebrating Eddie Howe's year in charge, and I mean, the guy's been absolutely amazing. I mean, under Eddie Howe, we've lost 2 games at home since he was been in charge, and that's Liverpool and Man City. Bearing in mind, I mean, even Pep Guardiola said after the City game when we drew 3-3 with them, he said, when we came here last season, we won 4-0. He says, but I knew today there was no way we were going to walk in and win 4-0 today. He says, they weren't going to let us. And he says, they've improved that much. I just wish more managers were a bit like Pep Guardiola, who actually gives compliments to other people rather than just, like, where Klopp doesn't. He just says excuses after excuses, and so I'm going to come to Sam first. I mean, Sam, sum up Eddie Howe's 12 months in charge, considering when he came in, we were rock bottom without even a win on the board.
We've only gone one way on that, so we couldn't get any lower, really. I mean, he came in and he was in a no lose situation for me, because if we went down, it wouldn't be his fault. Now he kept us up comfortably, and yeah, we've spent money, but we'll have to spend money, because if you don't spend money, you stand still and you don't progress. So if we hadn't spent that money, we would have just regressed and ended up doing what we're doing Ashley and went down to the doldrums. But it's not just how that was spent money, it's who we spent it on. We spent it on the right players, and I remember at the start of the season, people criticised our lack of transfers in and stuff like that. And it's like, well, I think that's pretty much karma for that. Well, then people that said we didn't do enough business and we took too long to get Potman, we did the Pope, and I think it's just proved I think all them people are pretty quiet now, to be honest, because we did need them players. The fact that we've got the best defence in the league, we've kept the joint most clean sheets, suggests we did need them players. And yeah, it's just gone up. It's like a skyrocket. It's just gone. It's just this one way, and we're going. That's it,
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, this question I've never asked people. I'm going to ask you now. So, I mean, when Unai Emery didn't come for the job at the end, and he got this new contract at Villarreal, and then they said they're bringing Eddie Howe in, were you disappointed at the time of Eddie Howe coming in? Were you underwhelmed by the appointment, or were you thinking, oh, we should have gone for somebody bigger? I mean, what was your thoughts on the appointment of Eddie Howe when it first happened? I mean, obviously now everybody loves him, but at the time, I mean, what was your thoughts on Eddie Howe?
Well, we had to be realistic. We had to be realistic and realise where we were. We were second, we're bottom of the league. We had no right to attract the big managers because of where we were. I'm not saying, Eddie Howe hasn't got all the potential to be a top manager, because he's sure he has. Sorry, I'm really tired because obviously I'm
keeping you up, Sam.
Sorry?
Are we keeping you up?
No, I'm just absolutely fucking loaded with cold, and I'm just ill as fuck. I've got work tomorrow as well, so. I just, it's only going to keep going up, because the higher we get, the more sponsorships will come, better players will keep coming, and we'll get the European competitions, and it's the only way it's going to go. You can't stop us now. We're the juggernaut, and you can't stop it. Simple as that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rory,
what about you on Eddie Howe? And what did you think of the appointment at the time as well?
I mean, I was disappointed when we didn't get Emery, and then I started thinking that when we still had that shithousery that won't be named owning the club, and the season before we wanted to get rid of, everyone wanted Steve Bruce out before he somehow managed to get us out of the trouble. I thought, well, if we sack Bruce, Eddie would be the one I wanted. And so I just thought, well, actually, this will be a good appointment, because I like Eddie. He's a good manager. I didn't know that he'd gone studying on his year out, so I was actually quite pleased when we got him, because obviously when the takeover happened, everyone, like they did with the players, it's like, oh, we'll go and get him, we'll go and get Conte, we'll go and get all the top managers, and the club have taken a very pragmatic view and said, well, we're not going to do that. We're going to make the right appointment. We're not just going to go for the name. And they've made the right appointment. It's not just a great manager. He gets the club. He gets the fans.
Yes, he does, yeah.
He knows what it is to be a Newcastle fan, what we want. He's just provided it in spades, saying that the recruitment's just been superb from the very start. Say everyone's moaning about, oh, we spent all the money, but the thing is, we'd gone backwards under Ashley because I was saying to friends that when we bought Willock, he's the only transfer that we had. And he was already playing last season, so essentially we hadn't bought anybody new. And in the Premier League, standing still is going backwards. If you don't spend money, you go backwards because everyone else improves. But it's, I think, the philosophy not buying the not just the right player, having the right person. And they seem to put a lot of emphasis on having the right people with good attitudes and team players. And when we buy someone, when we're linked with someone, I just know that they're actually going to fit in with the squad. Because we don't want any champagne Charlies or fancy Dans ruining the camaraderie in the dressing room. And I think that's part of the reason that Dubravka went, because he was starting to throw his dummy out the pram. And I think, well, if he wants to go, let him go. We don't want him rocking the boat, because everybody from the tea lady to Yasser is rowing in the same direction. And long may it continue.
Absolutely. I mean, good points there from both of you as well. Ali Coffee's asking us all a question. I'll kick this one off. He says, what were your thoughts on Broja? To be honest, I wasn't impressed by him, and I thought we were linked with this guy in the summer, and I'm glad we didn't take him, because to be honest with you, I didn't think he was great. And if they were wanting 30 or 40 million for him, I certainly don't think he's worth anywhere near that. To me, we kept him quiet, and I didn't think he was anything special. I mean, Sam, what did you think of Broja?
He wasn't really in the game, was he? I think the way Chelsea set up for to basically come for a draw suggested to me that, we just had him up there just for as a body. I think I was still surprised to have him over Aubameyang, when Aubameyang obviously is going to the World Cup and things like that. So I found it a bit strange how they picked Broja over him. Considering Aubameyang's got a pretty good record against us for Arsenal. He wasn't in the game, but I think that's down to the fact Chelsea didn't have any intent to come and win the game. They came to, I think, try and frustrate and come away with a draw and get out of here. So it might have been down to the fact of the way they played.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Rolly, your thoughts on Broja?
He's a bit of a beast. He's strong. He's a strong lad. He's got a bit of pace about him. But in a way, it's a bit hard to judge him on today's performance because we didn't let Chelsea play. So you're not going to see the best of him playing against us because we don't let teams play. He didn't do anything particularly fantastic. Arsenal just gone 2-0 up.
Oh, they have they?
Yeah. He just didn't really get the opportunity to show anything because we just smothered them, and we smothered them in their back third. So they didn't really get forward in the first half whilst it was on because we kept them in their own half. So it's a bit difficult to judge if he's any good because he just didn't have the. I mean, Chelsea were that. Sorry, I was going to say Chelsea were that poor. No, we were that good. They looked like an ordinary mid-table Premier League side.
Yeah,
it didn't
absolutely.
Look like the Champions League. Like an ordinary side.
Yeah.
Sort of like I was going to say that's like a Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
It's so good being able to describe. It's so good being able to to describe one of the so-called big looking average.
I judge Broja's time at Southampton last season. He did well for the first part, and from January onwards, he barely recognised he played. I think up until January, he did. Yeah, he's still young, but he was consistent the first part of the season, then I don't think he scored after January, which is, I mean, that's for a striker. You'd be a bit worried as, yeah, he's done well for 6 months, but then if he's gone stale and not scoring, then he didn't really. I thought he was all right for certain periods then, but I don't know. Southampton as a club did that last season. They started well and they tailed off completely. So, but yeah, I think we did well not pursuing him, if I'm being honest. But again, that might be down to the fact of you might be better on a team that obviously plays on the front foot, like what we were doing today. And Chelsea didn't do that the day they weren't allowed to, and they didn't come to have any intent to beat us, in my opinion. So
I think the other thing about you look at Brozier, we were looking at a load of really young strikers. Obviously, Ekateki, we almost decided he wanted to sit on the bench at PSG. We're linked with Brozier and that guy that's at Leipzig and a few others. And then we end up getting Isak, who is also young, but he's one of the top prospects in Europe, where the other ones we were looking at weren't. So I think when it comes to transfers, they don't just look at the personality, they look at the prospects, and they're relentless. I mean, getting Botman shows it. Once they've got identified a top target, if they don't get him in one window, they'll go back for him in the next if they think he's actually the sort of player that we want and need to push us forward. And Botman just been superb. I think I've seen him so far this season. I think he's misplaced about 3 passes.
Exactly.
But we have this relentless in the transfer market. We know what we want. We know the sort of player we want. We know we identify the targets and we go for them, but we're not going to get mugged off on the price. We've proved that. We've proved that time and time again that we're quite happy to walk away from deals. And I think I think in this window, people start to realise we can't mug us off. And when we put in a fair offer, I think they're more likely to get accepted than people trying to think, we can get a few more quid out of Newcastle because their owners are worth loads. I think the funniest thing I've seen this week is they're talking about the Liverpool up for sale. One of the I forget who wrote it. It's a journalist is saying that the consortium that are potentially taking over Liverpool are worth 5 times more than Sheikh Mansour at Man City. And then I did the math. Well, that's not even half as much as our lot are worth.
Anyway, Tony, I'm going to shoot some of myself sorted for tomorrow.
All right, mate. No worries. Thanks for coming on, Sam.
If you just by doing a fan forum this week,
for us today, Sam.
Yeah, are doing a fan forum this week?
Will be on Thursday night. Yeah,
a fan. I'm off on Thursday, so hopefully I'm a bit better. Hopefully I'm a bit better for that.
Yeah, I hope you shift your cold. Have a whiskey. Have a big whiskey before you go to bed tonight.
I haven't got any whiskey. I don't even drink.
You buggered then.
Have a hot cup.
A lamb sip or something.
I'll see. Hey, cheers for having us on, Tony. I'll see you on Thursday.
Yeah, see you Thursday.
Yeah,
Sam.
Cheers, mate. See you later, Sam. Thanks for coming on, mate. See you later, mate. Bye-bye. And that's Sam. He's a good lad, Sam. So I mean, like I say, so I'll go into some more comments here. Ashington says, commentator was a Chelsea fan, I'm sure of it. Yeah. All these pundits, these rubbish pundits, will be praising it too when we win something, be wishing they never mocked us. Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. Foxy says, I just hate Spurs, though. I had to remind a few mates who said last year Emerson Royale was better than Trippier. Well, he was more like Chicken Royale. Ashington says, Trossard in January. I Like Coffee says, Foxy may be better in TikTok, yeah. Then Foxy says, They downgraded over the years. Even Aurier beat them the other day in the cup. Yeah, didn't he just? Yeah. Ashton says, I would be happy with at least 2 good players. Yeah.
Yeah.
Foxy says, Madison, Andre Santos in January. Bruno's a perfect player for Andre to learn from as well. Yeah, absolutely. The young Brazilian lad. Yeah. Foxy says, short memory for people wanting the SM gone. He's the reason we got results against Man City Wolves. With team improvement, the SM improves. Absolutely. I mean, I'm happy to have him because on his day, he's unplayable. And we know he's unplayable. Arsenal winning now on 37 points. Yeah. I like coffee. Seeing videos that there was some hooligans provoking the Chelsea fans, causing some unrest at the stadium. I hope that wasn't the case. The riot police horses are so calm and majestic, but extremely imposing. Yeah, they are, aren't they? Just. Ashton says, Chelsea spent more than us in the summer alone, and naturally, I want to see Emery fail after all that, plus all the teams, Aston Vanilla. Yeah. Ashton then goes on to say, Bros is a dirty player. I don't like his bad attitude. And he says, Dubravka will be feeling like a plonker at Man U of all places. He'll be looking at us on the table. Yeah, I bet he is. I like coffee. Peter Drury, Graham Potter's Chelsea is playing a new kind of pressing football called depressing. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Lewis, 3rd in the English Premier League on Christmas Day. Yeah, we will be. Alan, just back home, Tony. What a fantastic night. And what a team performance. What a brilliant taking goal from Warwick. Yeah, absolutely, Alan. It was fantastic goal from Willock. I said it, once he got his first goal, he'll end up on a scoring spree, and he's done it. But unfortunately, the World Cup's come to our halt now. Alan says also another great result. 2-0 just unstoppable at the moment. The World Cup came at the wrong time. Yeah, maybe the wrong time. And he says, I just said to you earlier, Tony, that Ref Jones is a scouse and 9 minutes of cloppy time. Yeah, absolutely, you did, Alan. Yeah. And black and white Christmas tree this year, lad, says Ashton. Yeah. Why not? Why not? But yeah, I mean, great performance today. I mean, we're all bloody ecstatic, and it's onwards and upwards. So, guys in the chat, this is where you can have your fun now as well as us too. So, obviously, Sam's had to go off because he's not very well and he's shattered and he's got work tomorrow. So it's just me and Rolly. So we're going to do the player ratings. So, as you know, guys, we'll give you our thoughts on player, but you can also put your part in the chat as well of what you thought about, if you agree with our player ratings or what your ratings of the players were. So, yeah, you play along in the chat as well. So I'm going to go. Right, so Rolly, I'm going to give you Nick Pope. Give me your thoughts.
Well, he didn't have a lot to do, and what he did have to do, he did well. It's one of his games. He had 2 shots. One was tame, one was a good save. So I can't rate him too highly. So I'm going to go with an 8.
An 8?
Yeah, as time between 7 and 8, because he didn't have anything to do.
We made that save, though, didn't he, from Gallagher?
Yeah, that's why I put it as an 8, because it was a good save. But
yeah,
but apart from that, he didn't have anything to do. So you can't really I can't rate him higher than that, because it's not like he's making worldy save after worldy save. He did what he had to do.
In the chat, Ashton says Pope a 9. Alan McMurtry says a 9 for Pope. I Like Coffee says 10 for Pope. And Alan Niddle says Shaw is a new Franz Beckenbauer. Yeah, got big shoes to fill to be Beckenbauer.
Yeah.
Right, next player is, and I'll take this one, it's Kieran Trippier. Thought Kieran Trippier had a great game. When he got back into defence and got that ball away from Havertz, I thought that was brilliant. He done what he had to do. He did a couple of crosses in the box. Solid enough. Another leadership performance from our captain. Captain Fantastic, as I call him. I'm giving Trippier a 9 today because I thought he had an outstanding game and the leader on the pitch. And I tell you what, when we haven't got him on the pitch, you can tell we haven't got him on the pitch. So Trippier gets a 9 from me. And in the chat, let's see what we get now. LA Coffee says, clean sheet against top 6 clubs. Great saves, especially in the second half. Yeah. Alan says, Pope and 8. I agree, Rolly. There you go. Alan agrees with Alan McTeer.
Well, then Alan.
And Alan McMurray says, distribution was good. Ashington says, Trippier 9 as well. Yeah. Alan says, 10 for me, 10 for Coffee, and a 9 for Alan as well. So, yeah, so they sort of agree with me on that one as well. Okay, Rolly, next man I'm giving you is not Franz Beckenbauer, by the way, but it's Fabian Schär.
I thought he had a decent game. Again, like all of them in the back four, gave no quarter and was solid. Distribution was decent. Toying with an 8 or a 9. I'm going to go with an 8 because at the end of the day, for large stretches of the game, they didn't have to do any defending because we're on top that much. So I'm going to go with an 8 on that.
An 8, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. LA Coffee says 10 for Shaw. Ashington says 8 as well. Agrees with you. Alan McTeer agrees with you. 8, he worked hard. And the other Alan says yes, an 8 as well for Shaw. So, yeah, they agree with you on that one. Okay. Next man is Sven Botman, his partner. Sven Botman. Oh, what an outstanding game this guy had.
Yeah.
You know, he had this not so very good game last Sunday, but by God, did he not step up today? And this is a great player in the making, because if you can have a bad game the week before, but you come back the next week and you have a superb game, then the way I look at it is, he was outstanding today. He was a rock. He was absolutely fantastic against Chelsea. He got his tackles in, got his headers in, done really, really well. Do you know, I can't give this man any lower than 10. I'm sorry, I can't, because this guy was phenomenal today. He was absolutely fantastic all over the pitch. Back four, he marshaled that back four. This guy's 22-year-old, and you know, this guy can get a hell of a lot better, and he's nowhere near his peak yet. And this guy's, for the next 10 years, he's our Vincent Company. But I'll tell you what, Mr. Sven Botman, you've got a 10 from me, matey. That is for sure.
The only thing I'd say about that is that, again, the reason I only gave Shah an 8 was because they didn't have a lot to do for most of the game. But what he did was superb. There's I think it's Craig Hope had an article saying that if the Dutch don't take Botman to the World Cup, put your money on them, because they must have the best centre halves in the world if they leave him at home.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Alan says Botman a 9. Ashington says 9.5. LA Coffee says Botman 10 plus man of the match.
So I would give him an
Alan says Botman 9. Alan says 9. Can't give less than that for Sven. Ashington says Botman's the fly-in Dutchman. Right. So, Rolly. So, the next player on the list for you is BDB, Big Dan Burn.
Big Dan Burn did Big Dan Burn things. It was solid. In control of all through the game. I don't think he got turned or anything. I just thought he was solid. And then obviously when Target came on, he moved into centre half and was solid. So I'm going to give Dan Burn an 8. It's for the same reason, because most of the time they didn't have much to do. That's the only reason I put them down as 8. If they had more to do and played as they did, they'd be 9s and 10s.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so the next guy, after Dan Burn, I'll take is Bruno Guimaraes. Right, Bruno, His passing was a little off key the day. His rate of passing wasn't quite there.
Mm.
But, you know, he still had a good game. He still helped out in that midfield, got back and tackled as well. Yeah, he's done well today. And I thought just his rate of passing was a little off today. Not its usual on its radar as it normally is. But the effort he's put in around the field, the effort he's done on the pitch as well today. And I mean, you know, he sort of made up for a couple of the bad passes and got some of the good tackles in. I'm going to give Bruno an 8. The guy just played well as far as I'm concerned, and he deserves an 8.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
For his midfield. I'll just go into some more comments because I missed out comments from Byrne. So Ashington says, Big Dan Byrne a 9. I like Coffee says, Botman not going to the World Cup without Weghorst. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's disgusting. But do you know it's better for us if Botman doesn't go? Because if he has got an injury, we can sort it out now. Alan says 8. Alan McTeer says 9. Powerhouse display. I like Coffee says 10 for Byrne. Yeah, absolutely. He played really well. Ashington says he played pretty well that game, Dan Byrne. Yeah, Bruno 8 wasn't his best game, but probably tired with the burn. Yeah, probably. I like Coffee says 9 for Bruno. Alan McMurtry says, yeah, he says an 8 for Bruno. And Alan McTeer says, yeah, 8 slightly off as opposed to previous games. Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree. Right. And he says 9 for Willick. Right, okay. So the next player that I'm giving you is Sean Longstaff.
I thought he was superb today. I thought that he never gave Chelsea a chance to settle on the ball. This guy's got an incredible motor, and seems to do the simple things well. He's got back to how he was when Rafa brought him in the team. He's more careful with the ball, but his defensive work and the ground he covers is superb. So I'm actually going to give him a 9.
You're giving him a 9, yeah. Yeah, I think that's fair enough. I mean, he had a good game. Shame he missed that chance in the first half to score, but you know, other than that, yeah. I think
he's not a striker,
wasn't he?
and he
no.
So if he's a striker, you'd be more upset with him missing that one.
Ashington says Longstaff 8.5, played good today. I like Coffee says a 9. I mean, Alan says Joe Linton 9, Willick 9 for him. Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's fair enough. Alan says Sean upset Chelsea, roughed them up a bit. So it's a 9 from me, Rolly. And Alan McMurray says almost forgot Longstaff, 9 good game. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he played really well today, I thought. So the next player I'll take is Joe Willick. So Joe Willick, I thought had a super game. I thought he played really well, full of running. He burst into the box in the first half. You know, won us a corner, which nearly won us a penalty had it been handball, but it wasn't. He had a really good game today, I thought, Joe Willick. And his goal, well, took that with a plum, and that was absolutely superb. I mean, he didn't put his laces through, he didn't shoot, he didn't rush it in or anything like that. He just placed it, and he placed it lovely past Mendy. So
not just placed it, he placed it with power.
Yes, he did. So for me, I'm giving Willick top marks. I can't give him any lower than a 10, I'm afraid. Took his goal really well, had a greatest game. And to be fair, between him and Botman, for me, is man of the match. But I've got to give Willick man of the match because not only scored the winner, he was ramping throughout that game. He was absolutely cracking that game. So I've got to give Willick a 10 out of 10 and man of the match from me. Let's see what the comments I've got to say. Alan says Burn a 9. I like Coffee says 10 for Willick. Ashington says Willick 10. Fantastic goal from Miggy assist. Yeah, I've got to agree with that. Alan says 10 for Mr. Willock, outstanding throughout. And Alan says Joe 9, Willock 10. And Alan says, me too, Tony, man of the match. Yeah, absolutely. He's man of the match today. I mean, I thought he was absolutely fantastic. Right, Rory, the next player I'm going to give you is, take it away, not only player of the month, goal of the month, Mr. Miggy Almiron. Oh, there he is.
Again, I love his pressing. He didn't really get a decent chance to score, but his all-round effort, he's just a pain in the butt for defenders. So I'm going to have to give him a 9. I think he's playing with so much confidence at the moment. He's just the press almost starts with him. And defenders know they haven't got time, and he's unlucky not to catch Chelsea out a couple of times when they misplaced back passes. But it's coordinated press. It's not just one guy running. It's not running around like a headless chicken like he did a bit when he was cabbaged with our previous manager. Yeah, I think I'm going to give him a 9. I thought he had a really good game.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought he was outstanding again. Okay, so Asherton says, Alan McTeer says 10 for Willock, outstanding throughout the game. Yeah, Asherton says 9 for Mickey. Alan McTeer says 9. What an engine he's got. Asherton says Mickey the racehorse never tires out.
It did seem to be wilting a little bit towards the end, but again, they've played so much football over the last month that that's part of the reason I'm sort of kind of glad we've got this World Cup break so they can recharge the batteries and go again.
Alan says Almiron tormented them, always a threat. And he says a 9 as well. Foxy says everybody had Bruno 9. Love Bruno, but thought he wasn't at the usual levels today. Nearly lost a goal from losing possession. Miggy made some great runs, but Bruno kept over hitting minus the goal. Yeah, I totally agree, Foxy. I said that in my little thing about Bruno. I thought he misplaced a few passes today. They weren't quite on the money. They were, they went out for goal kicks and things like that. He wasn't at his best. But you know what? He's been terrific, Bruno, and we can't really slate him, can we? So, yeah, but I totally agree with you, Foxy. And Foxy's a great expert on South American football, by the way. So, great guy. Asherton says players will get a nice rest for the refresh. They will. Right. So, now I'll take the next one. And that is Chris Wood. So, Chris Wood, didn't have a lot to do, did he, really? And he did press Mendy a few times. I did see that happening where he was pressing Mendy. And obviously celebrated when Willock scored because he saw it right in front of his eyes. I thought he had a solid enough game. Did nothing special. I don't think we were playing to his strengths, if I'm honest. So I'm not going to give him a low mark because I think that would be unfair on the guy. So for me, I'm going to give Chris Wood a 7. I think that's a fair enough assessment. I thought he'd done what he had to do. He pressed Mendy a few times. But yeah, we don't really play to his strengths. So yeah, I'm going to give Chris Wood a 7. I think that's fair enough.
I'd agree with that. I think he was solid, but solid and unspectacular.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Chris DM, good evening to you, Chris. He says, bring in new players. Yeah, we will do in January, I'm sure. Wood a 7. Yeah, absolutely. Foxy saying, not saying Bruno was awful. Either just wasn't that usual standout player for us that he is and most, which is fine. Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree, Foxy. There's no harm in having an off game. Look at Botman last week. He had an off game, but he came back this week and he looked an absolute beast this week. So, yeah, they can't always play perfect games week in, week out. And so, yeah, I wasn't, I knew you weren't saying he was awful, Foxy. I just, yeah, I agree. Ashton says, wasn't overly impressed with Wood. Almost never seen Wood. 7, says Alan. And Alan McTeer says, yeah, sorry, but no more than a 7. Ashton says, I agree, Foxy. Matt Smith, good evening to you, Matt. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. It's really important, helps the channel, and hit the likes as well. Loving that big 6 are rattled. We are coming back to where we belong. Still think 6 would be an unbelievable season, a great step forward. Yeah, absolutely, Matt. I mean, to be fair, Matt, at the start of the season, my prediction was we would win the Carabao Cup and finish in 7th place in the Europa Conference League. And do you know what? That would be fantastic. And that would be massive progress in my eyes. So, yeah, I mean, do you know, even if we didn't finish in top 4, I wouldn't be disappointed because we've done bloody well so far. Mike Controllers, we are coming. Toons next season. Oh, it's a Sunderland fan. Yeah, I don't think Sunderland are getting promoted this season, however. So, yeah. So, anyway, right. So, the next player for you is J7.
That guy's a destroyer. I thought, again, great engine, disrupting play, transitioning forward. I'm on a toss up between 8 and a 9, and I think I'm going to go with an 8. But he's just all over the place, disrupting play, winning the ball back. He's sort of like the second line of the high press. So you have Miggy and Wood or Wilson doing the first wave, and he's there to sort of cut anything that comes through, and he did it really well. I thought he's been a colossus for us since Eddie moved him into midfield.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that. And he's been a breath of fresh air, hasn't he, as Joe Linton?
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Just shows what proper coaching can do.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's look at the comments we've got in now. Ashington says, Sunderland need the playoffs to get up, but no threat whatsoever. Yeah, it'll probably just be a transition season for them. Matt Smith says, agreed, mate. Yeah, he agrees with me. Ashington says, Joe Linton an 8. Chris says, bringing new players will disrupt the team dynamics, not necessarily because they won't just walk into the team if the team's playing well. So it won't disrupt the team at all. So it'll be fine. Alan says, he also never stopped. Great performance, J7, it's a 9. Foxy said, Wood worked hard, but put pressure on Mendy a lot, which rushed him into poor decisions, but our style of play isn't suited for Wood and plays the breaks down with a bit of him. But a solid third choice after Wilson, Isak. Yeah, absolutely, Foxy. That's why I gave him a stand at 7. I did say he was pressing Mendy, but he didn't have his greatest game, but we're not playing to his strengths, so right. So now that's the first 11 out the way. Now I'll take this guy who'll come on for 76 minutes in place of Chris Wood. So Callum Wilson came on, nearly had a goal at the end. Did what he had to do, Callum. Not a lot to do. So in this instance, I'm just going to give Callum Wilson a stand at 6 because he wasn't really on the pitch long enough to really affect the game. Well, he was, but he done what he had to do, and I'm not being harsh on Callum, but I'm giving Callum a 6. I think it's fair enough that. Ashington says, I don't think Wood will stay much longer. Ashington says, Callum an 8.
8?
8. I've given him a 6.
Yeah.
Ashington back to Burnley if they get promoted. Yeah, Foxy, I could see that. I could see Wood going back to Burnley. That would probably suit them as well, to be fair, if he went back there. The two other subs that came on were Murphy and Target, but they'd come on very late in the game, so I'll just give them a standard 5. Alan says Callum made some decent runs, so 7 for the short time on the pitch. Yeah. Can't give him too high a score because he wasn't on long enough. Right. So the next one I'm going to give you. I find them. There we are. Right. Give me your thoughts on the fans. What marks you would give the fans?
I mean, they're good. A couple of quieter bits, but I can't give it below a 9, because I thought they, on the whole, is really good. Had me singing in my living room very badly. We've got Bruno in the middle.
Yes, yeah, brilliant one. But no, I thought the fans did well today. So you're giving them a 9, are you? Yeah. That's not a problem at all. And so I'll take this guy, Eddie Howe, the manager. Well, what can I say? He's a brilliant manager, absolutely fantastic manager. He's getting better and better, and he's proven that A, he can work with big players, B, he can work with a club that's got unlimited funds and money, to be fair. So this guy can go on and win us a lot of trophies if we get that stage, and this guy can become the elite manager. So if England have a bad World Cup and Southgate goes out the door, England best not knock at Eddie's door, and I'm sure his ring doorbell will pick up on the FA, come to his door, and he'll probably just say, "Sorry, I'm not in. I can't talk to you." But yeah, no, this guy is he's absolutely brilliant on the touchline. And I love his swagger. He's getting a bit of swagger about him. He's got that little bit of Jose Mourinho in him now, and it's absolutely fantastic. I can't give this guy any lower than a 10. I think he's absolutely brilliant, and he got his team selection spot on again today, and I think he done his subs at the right time as well. So yeah, it's a 10 out of 10 for Eddie for me.
He's been doing that.
Can't give him any lower.
He's been doing that. Our run just proves that it's a 10. Was it? That's 6 wins in 7 and a draw. Yeah. He's got it spot on every time, even midweek with all the changes. We still didn't lose. So you can't give him anything less than a 10.
Yeah, Ashton says Eddie's a 10 all day. Foxy says 9 out of 10 for the fans. 9 out of 10. The fans were great, but I did notice one red shirt in the crowd. Was it Sinclair? I don't know, but I'll ask him that one, Foxy. I will ask him. But you didn't have a picture of Foxy because you could have wound him up with it. Ashton says fans were 10. Good noise late in the game. Yeah, the fans made it. There was points in the game where the fans were really, really loud. Alan says, got to be 10 for the manager, first rate. Yeah, he absolutely is. He's been absolutely fantastic. Eddie Howe, he's done really well for us. Yes, guys. So if you like what you see, then please hit those like buttons. It really does help the channel up the search settings and makes people find the channel a lot easier as well. Also, if you're new to the channel and you haven't yet subscribed, then please click the subscribe button. It is free to do so and helps the channel grow. And also, if you haven't yet, hit the bell notification as well. That lets you know when I put a pre-recorded video on or I become live. But my next target for subscribers is up to 150, and I'll be glad. It'll be nice when I get to that stage. And that's thank you to everybody so far who has absolutely subscribed to the channel. So what a day it's been. It's been absolutely brilliant. We've beat Chelsea 1-0, third in the table. The only way is up is Yazoo, in the plastic population used to say. And we are on the up. We are smashing the Big Six to pieces now. And didn't think it would happen this quick, to be honest with you. But we're enjoying it while it lasts and see where we are when we are pro. But, there is going to be some shows coming up. So keep an eye out for the shows coming up. Obviously, it's going to be a bit over the World Cup's going to be different shows. So I'll have a mixture of shows in the World Cup as well.
Make sure you put your notifications on.
Sorry?
Make sure you put your notifications on so they know when the show's on.
Yeah, well, if you hit the bell button, that notifies you anyway.
No.
So if you click the bell link, that'll notify you when any shows come live or pre-recorded. But yeah, so we've come to the end of the show now, guys. But it's been another great day for Newcastle United. Another great win for us. We're in the top 3, which is absolutely fantastic. And yeah, like I say, the only way is up. And we've got a great manager as well. So we now go into the World Cup break, sitting 3rd, and nobody can catch us now. So enjoy the rest of the evening, guys, and don't get too drunk. I'll just go to some comments before I come off. Paul's and he says, evening and good night if I've missed a show, lol. If you have, Paul, you can always watch it back, mate. Just watch it back up on catch up. Great way to finish the first half of the season. Can enjoy the World Cup now. Who's your dark horses for the World Cup? Well, for me, I'm not saying the dark horse. I would say the more favourites, but I would say Brazil's going to win the World Cup. But if I had to pick an outsider for the World Cup, there always seem to be the bridesmaid, but never the bride. And I'm just going to put this out as a punt. I'm going to say Belgium because I've always got close. So I'll say Belgium because they have got a talented team. Rolly, have you got who's your dark horse for the World Cup?
Yeah, that's a good one. I want to say England because if we do well, we'll keep Southgate and they won't come after Eddie.
Yeah.
I think it's difficult because you've got teams like France are going to be good. Belgium have got a good side. Brazil, probably one of those 3.
Yeah. Alan says no one could have predicted this form. No, absolutely not, Alan.
Absolutely.
No way whatsoever. Paul says I would love Argentina to win just for Messi. Yeah, that's a good shout, I suppose, as well. Ashton says, good night, lads, and how are you, the Magpies? How are you, the lads? Yep, how are you, the lads? Good night to you as well, Ashton. Sefton's on the... hang on, I've just gone off his comment, sorry. There we are. Just woke up and switched my phone off, and yes, the boys are still on, Tony and Rolly. Well, we're on the way now, Sefton. Thank you very much. I hope you're getting better. Everybody send some get well messages for Sefton because he's not very well. Ashton says, doubt Eddie will want to manage England. No, he doesn't. He's already said that he likes the day-to-day management. I was going to say them, Tony, as well. He means Belgium. And Ashton says, they've all doubted him. Then they will come crawling to him as a manager. Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing. They'll all come crawling. So, yeah, guys, as I say, thank you for everybody who's been on tonight, everybody in chat. Guests who have came on tonight as well. It's been absolutely fantastic. Thank you for Rolly coming on as well.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Been great. But like I say, don't forget to hit the like buttons. Really helps the channel grow. And don't forget to smash the subscribe button as well if you haven't yet subscribed. So, yeah. So, thank you very much to everybody. And go and enjoy your evening. And I'll see you on the next show. Just keep your eyes peeled for the next show coming on. And then... yeah, how are you, the lads? And goodbye for now.